we always said great things don't come from comfort zones. I think that if I were to explain Tommy to you guys in college, like the first thing that comes to mind, free spirit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I want kids now.
Crazy, huh? So the grass that we're standing on.
Exactly.
On this side.
What rapper can you find in a toolbox?
No MSR. Sorry, guys.
People. ASMR.
So I said it right?
No.
ASMR.
Okay, let's dive in.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Nguyen Nguyen Wednesday, where we upload a podcast every single week. And if you're new here, welcome to the podcast. It's so good to have you. It's a podcast where we talk to you guys on a week-to-week basis about what we're experiencing, what we're processing, and we just share our lives with you. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Tommy Nguyen.
And I'm Sopa Nguyen. And to add on to what Tommy just said, we share our lives and our stories with you because we want you to feel connected. And so it's not just a podcast of us just talking about our lives, but we can continue the conversation after the podcast is over in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube or in real life in our Instagram DMs. And so it's really all about us connecting with you guys and creating a space here on YouTube and our podcast to create community. So that's why we created today's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And something that we like to do on the podcast is just ask you guys, what are you drinking or what are you eating? What are you doing when you're listening to this podcast? So comment below if you're watching on YouTube. Today, we're both just drinking water.
Some water.
Because we desperately need to go to the store and refill the drinks in our fridge.
Stay hydrated, my friends.
But that is really important because, man, I was feeling dehydrated one Sunday and that was a bad feeling. So now I'm like constantly trying to drink water. So all we have in the house right now, coffee, water. I'm out of my sparkling water. I'm really sad.
So we need to order some more of that at Target
Drive Up.
Yeah.
Or
did I say drive through?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drive Up.
And we have margarita mix. That's all we have right now in the house. And I'm like dying for some sparkling water.
I need some OJ. I love my orange juice.
Tommy does love orange juice. So comment below, you guys on YouTube, if you're watching there, what you guys are drinking or eating in this podcast. So today, you guys might have seen on the title of today's podcast, but Tommy and I have been married for 2 years now. And
Dos
años. Isn't there someone with that name like in UFC or something?
That's Dos Anjos.
Oh.
No, wait. Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh.
Not Años.
I just felt like I hear them say it on UFC all the time.
And he's Brazilian.
Okay. Got it. Well, anyway, side note. So Tommy and I have been celebrating I've been kind of more celebrating all month long of us celebrating 2 years of marriage and just reflecting and looking at pictures. And so we thought today would be fun to talk about that.
Yeah, to talk about, our 2-year anniversary and what we did to celebrate that. So, last year we actually we vlogged. I was going to say created a vlog, which sounds kind of weird. We vlogged our 1-year anniversary. Yeah. And it was really fun. It was really cool. We went out to eat. And this was during like the pandemic time in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, I guess, pandemic time. I don't know. But it was at the height of it.
Pandemic, but I feel like people can feel like it's going to become like post-pandemic. Maybe. I don't know. There's
depends
a lot of
on where you live.
Lot of news. I think it depends where you live. We're in a weird spot.
Yeah. So we did the vlog. You guys should totally go watch it if you haven't.
Yes.
Tommy will probably link it below in the description once we upload this video. But yeah, so last year we couldn't really do anything, couldn't eat inside. It was just different, right? Everyone knows how that all went down.
Yeah.
And so it was different to celebrate your first year of marriage, like eating takeout in the car at a random park. That's basically all we did.
Yeah, it was like a picnic in the car.
Mm-hmm. And then we just asked each other, like, what's one thing that you learned after 1 year of being married? And for me, it was that marriage is worth it. And because I just thought all my life, I'm like, whatever. I don't really care to get married. And maybe we can dive into that in another podcast on like why and like how that all happened.
Yeah.
But I think marriage is worth it. That was my takeaway last year.
Yeah. And mine was communication, for sure. What I learned my first year. But we can talk about what we did this year. And year number 2 I was trying to count 365 like times 2, but I couldn't do that math in my head fast enough. It was like 720, 730, something like that. I don't even know.
You're asking.
You can check my math.
I use my calculator.
So
for
it's
everything.
been like over 700 days, 730 days. That's my guess.
Yeah, and so we just basically went out to eat. Is all we did for our anniversary. And then,
but where did we eat?
Yeah, and then we hung out with friends. So there's this restaurant in San Jose called King's Fish House, and
Yes.
it is a new restaurant, and we love it. It is expensive, so we can't go there a lot, but we saved up to go for our
Yeah.
anniversary this
So for
month.
our local friends here in the Bay Area, it's at Valley Fair Mall, their new outdoor area. Really cool spot if you want to go check it out. So yeah, we went to King's.
Yeah, King's Fish House. We got some seafood. I got to eat my oysters, which I love eating
Oh yeah.
oysters. And maybe you could like pop up clips from the day or pictures or
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah. We took a bunch of photos. Well, so Pod did, not me.
Yeah, I'm more the photo. It's funny that that's the case because Tommy normally is taking a lot of pictures in our
That's
house and stuff.
true.
But
That's
like
so interesting.
he like does not take pictures when he's doing anything. It's all like photos
I'm
for
trying
work.
to improve like on my documentation of
Yeah.
my own life. Like when I do it for clients or for other projects.
You do that well,
Yeah.
but like your own life, there's not actually a lot of documentation.
Which I think is kind of common, right? Because like as like a social media marketer, right? We do social media marketing for clients, for businesses,
Yeah.
for companies. But then for our own is like a struggle for some reason.
I mean, it's hard for me too. It's just because it was our anniversary. I was taking pictures, but normally I don't
Yeah.
really like taking pictures when I'm out and about with friends. I don't do anything on Instagram in real life, in real time. I mean, so
Yeah.
that could be a
But
surprise to some
we
people.
wanted to document our 2nd year anniversary and
Yeah,
how we
because I wanted
celebrated.
to remember.
I mean, it's similar to the vlog, right? We created this like full vlog, so and it was nice to go back and watch. We actually watched it right before filming this podcast,
Yeah.
and it was just nice to kind of look back at it. I'm like, man, I look a lot younger, even though it was a year ago. I'm like, that Tommy in there a year ago, he looks young.
Dang. I mean, it's so funny, right? It's so different.
Yeah,
We look different. So that's why we think it's important to document when you can.
yeah.
But basically, we went out to eat, and then we had some drinks. That was fun.
Oh wait, so at King's, so we got what'd you get at King's?
I got tilapia, which is funny to some people. My family listening is probably like, why would you get tilapia? I know. But like, there's something about one like fish that I love. And I don't know, it's just simple. Like, it's just grilled tilapia.
Yep, and we did oysters for appetizers, and
Yeah.
that was a dozen oysters from like all over the coast, or from the east and west coast.
Yeah.
Our favorite ones that night were from Canada.
Yep.
Amazing. It was really good, actually.
Yeah.
And I got the miso yaki sea bass, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
So good, you guys.
Really, really good. Highly recommend.
Get the Chilean sea bass, the misoyaki Chilean sea bass from
Yep.
King's. It is worth it. It is amazing.
The sea bass tacos are actually really good too. That's usually my go-to when I go there, but I wanted to kind of try something different because
Yeah.
Sopa gets it
All-
miso yaki almost every time. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let me see what all the hype is about, and it lives up to the hype for sure.
Yes. And then I think that's all we got there. I
On
got
drinks, what drinks
I
you
got
get?
a mojito,
Mojito.
and then I don't even know.
I got something I think called Smoke on the Water, and I think it was like a smoky whiskey, and it was like straight, which we aren't really big drinkers. It has like the margaritas in the fridge from
yeah, but
Costco.
that's like a pre-made, nothing
It was like
fancy.
one ice cube, and then it was just like an orange peel. It was pretty good.
Not for me. I could smell it. It's just not my vibe. Smoked, anything smoked in general. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but smoked drinks. No, thank you.
I could taste the smokiness.
You really could, but that's Tommy's vibe, and I got
Yeah.
this whole like minty lime citrus is life. That's like everything I
Yeah.
love. So that's what we got there, and then after King's, we were supposed to go get ice cream at Salt and Straw,
Yeah.
but then I wasn't
I'm
really
sad.
feeling it. I mean, you were like, "It's fine. We'll go."
Yeah, I know. At the time, it was all right. It was kind of cold that
Yeah,
night,
it was
too.
kinda
We were eating
cold.
outside.
I didn't want to eat ice cream in the cold outside, so we went across the street to Santana Row and went to El Jardín for the first time.
For the first time ever, and if you know, they remodeled, and it looks really nice.
It's so nice. We have never been to El Jardín before though, and it's a tequila bar. And honestly, El Jardín really isn't my vibe because I don't like anything that's super loud, party. Like,
Yeah, it's more definitely like a party vibe, loud music, tons of people, and it's just a different crowd than we're used to. Like we really enjoyed Kings because it's just more chill, kind of loungy,
yes,
quiet. You can hear
casual.
yourself,
You
and
can
then
hear.
for some reason we went to El Jardín. We just wanted to try it out, man. We're living life.
We're
2 years
trying to be
married. Like,
spontaneous.
let's go.
Yeah, so we went to El Jardín. It was super loud. A lot of the demographic was definitely more. I would say a lot of young single or
It's
just
like-
young adult.
It's not like college. It's like post college. Like
College.
after like maybe 2 years, you're making some money. Your career job or whatever, and then now
Yeah.
you got some money to go spend at Oh, Hardy?
at a tequila bar. And so we went there, and mostly because everywhere else is pretty packed, and
Yeah.
we just were like, man, let's just try it. Who cares? Let's go
Yeah,
for it.
we gotta live life.
And it was like 11 o'clock at night, which
That
normally
was
I'm
like the latest.
exhausted.
That's the latest we've been out in like a
A
long
long
time.
time.
It was like 11:30. I'm like, dude, I have not been out this late in
I
a
don't
while.
even know how we did it in college. We were out until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is like
Yeah, that's
whatever.
college. That just tells you
We're getting old,
we're
man.
aging. We're aging.
Yeah, aging gracefully. So I got a mojito there again. Tommy got
What did I get?
some bourbon drink or something. I have no idea.
Dude,
Oh,
I don't
some
remember.
Moscow Mule vibe.
Oh,
I
that's
have
right.
no idea.
Smoky mule. So it's like a Moscow mule, but more of a smoky flavor.
Yeah, was not
It was
a
good.
fan of that one. I tried. I was like, whoa.
And Moscow Mule is always like if you get like the regular Moscow Mule, that's always like a classic to get at any bar. And
Like a safe
I'm
one.
not like a cocktail drink connoisseur or anything, but that's a good way to test if like they have good bartenders is a Moscow Mule.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
Again,
I think they have some legitimate bartenders.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah.
The drinks are definitely really good.
Like,
It was
yeah.
better than King's, I would say, mostly because it's a bar. It's meant to be that.
Yeah.
And we also got churros after, and they were the best churros I've
Churros.
ever had in my life.
They were bomb.
Yeah, and
With some caramel dip.
Yeah, it was so good. So if you guys go to El Jardín, I think it's worth going at least one time,
Check
even
it
if
out.
it's your vibe or not your vibe. It was fine. It was loud, but we were able to hear each other perfectly fine. And there was a humongous heater right next to me, which is perfect. So I had drinks and churros.
And it's a cool ambiance too, like a cool atmosphere. Even though it's like loud, even if that's not your thing, but there's like a lot of like things going on, like the little fire things that you see, and it was just cool to hang out.
It's super
We felt like
pretty.
we were like in Hawaii or something because we got a little flower, like
On
a
top-
little
yeah.
purple flower thing, and you got a little tiki cup
Yeah.
in your mojito.
It was cute.
It was like Hawaii.
Yeah, it was super cute. And we got home probably like at midnight or something, and then woke up early the next morning, went to go hang out with our best friends, Jackie and Nico.
Shout out.
And we literally spent the whole day. That was our actual anniversary. And so they were like, I can't believe you want to spend it with us. And I'm like, absolutely, we want to spend it with you
Yeah.
guys. Because we had our own thing Friday night. And so Saturday we spent the entire day with them, and it was super special.
Oh yeah, no, it was a really fun time.
Yeah. So that's what we did.
Yeah, and we had ube pancakes for the first time. That was
yeah.
bomb. Definitely want to go back to that brunch spot.
Danica's.
Danico's.
Real food
in Livermore
kitchen.
for the
Livermore.
local peeps. Livermore.
Yeah, so we got to meet them there. It was super fun. We love being with our friends.
I got
those
chicken and
friends.
waffles too.
Yeah, I got
That was
avocado
so good.
toast. No surprise. I know I'm getting hungry again. So we basically spent our whole anniversary eating food. And if you guys know us, that's
That's how you got to
especially
do it. That's
me.
how I gotta say. That's how you got to do it. You know, if you're gonna celebrate your anniversary, you gotta spend it eating some good food
That's like every
and
celebration
just don't hold back.
for us. Yeah.
Like for us, like, oh, should we budget this? I'm like, no.
I mean,
we talked
did.
about it. I mean, we kind of did. Like, we don't want to go like crazy. Like, you don't want to order a bunch of food that you can't eat. But it's like, let's splurge.
Yeah, it felt good to treat ourselves because I feel like we've been
Yeah.
working so hard. And so we just ended the week with celebration of our anniversary.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So now thinking back at that question of like, what did you learn in 2 years? You can kick it off. What did you learn after 2 years of being married?
It's a great question. So I'm still thinking about it. I think I told you. So we're obviously we already know the question before we film, and my mind's going blank right now. So I don't know.
That's okay. I don't think you need to have an answer. And I think
Yeah.
it's just us being real and honest.
Yeah.
I think 2 years felt really quick. Like I felt like we blinked and it
Yeah.
was 2 years. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
I really don't like doing things passively. I try to be intentional with things that I have going on in my life. And so I'm like, are we being intentional with our marriage? Because I started thinking about it. I'm like, 2 years went by really fast. And I'm like, what happened? What did we do?
Yeah, I mean, part of it too, I think, is 2020, the pandemic. Like,
It got
I'm sure
blurred.
a lot of people felt 2020 went by really quick because of stay-at-home orders, all that kind of stuff. Like now we think about that now, like that's kind of crazy to think about. That felt like a long time ago, even though we feel now it's like
How fast
everything
it
went by really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking, for me, I can share with all of you guys. So for me, I felt like I didn't realize how Tommy's acts of service, how important it was and how much it really impacted me in the last year of our marriage. Like Tommy drives me everywhere. I totally can drive. I know how to drive. I drive all the time, but Tommy drives me around a lot, and he is the one to push the cart of groceries, to push the grocery cart out the store, and to like lift the heavy things. And like for who I was all of my life, I'm very much like I'm Miss Independent. I don't need anybody. I don't want anyone's help, because I just was like trying to do this whole like self-sufficient vibe persona. That's all I wanted to be. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a lot of good things that come from that. I don't like relying on people. I like just doing it all on my own. I think you're the exact same way. Like we don't like relying on people. And so I think that now after after the second year of marriage, I've realized how it is okay to lean on people. It's okay to want to help people and to be helped. Because when I go to the store by myself, which isn't very often, or I go with another friend who's a girl and I have to push the cart, I'm like, dude, I haven't done this in so long.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like all the little things, right? Like you don't know that it's happening until it's like not there or it's not happening.
Yep. And so I think for me, realizing how appreciative I am of Tommy's acts of service and realizing that my love language like totally changed. And we did that on the podcast too, of just like, oh, acts of service. I didn't really think about that. And so, yeah, I just appreciate all that Tommy does and trying to be more mindful and noticing those things, because once he's not there, I'm like, oh, wow, this is different. Or like when I'm driving, I actually have to pay attention, learn the roads again, because I learned all the roads in San Jose on my own because I had to.
Yeah.
But then I kind of just didn't have to do it anymore because he was the one GPSing everywhere. I was just on my phone, dancing, singing, texting, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was definitely a huge blessing in 2020.
Like from 2020 till now,
Yeah.
basically from last year till now.
Yep.
Cool. I think for me, I mean, just going along the lines of like love languages, and you may disagree with me on this, but I think it's like the quality time, right? So when stay-at-home orders kind of kicked in, and that was probably like mid last year or early last year, and through all of 2020, I really enjoyed like our time together. And so it doesn't always have to necessarily be like us talking or like interacting all the time, but just having like her company and her presence around. I think for me, like felt good. It felt nice. And I think like just being home with her is fine. Like before, I feel like I wanted to always go out and go do things.
That's true, actually. We've reversed.
And now it's like reverse. She like wants to go out to these parks. I'm like, no, let's just stay home and watch a movie. And that used to be you.
And I'm like, yeah, I was the one who always wanted to stay and watch a movie. Like I always wanted to stay home.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how different we are now.
Yeah, it's kind of reversed a little bit. Even I think like acts of service too has like gone up in terms of like giving acts of service and receiving. I actually really enjoy like receiving acts of service, which I've learned more that I do appreciate it.
Because you were the same way as me. We can do it all on our own. We don't need help. It's just like, why rely on anybody? But it's like we are married for a reason. Let's rely on each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we can't do this alone, right?
That's for sure true. And I think now with things kind of opening back up, I think like being more intentional about like going on dates, because I don't want to blame 2020 for it, but it was kind of hard to go on dates, and we try to do like at home dates, like get food to eat out, but it's different, I think.
Yeah, it was just quick. I was like, whatever, food's already here. I eat. I eat until I'm full, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, it's not like this whole thing of walking to the car and I don't know, not being distracted by your phone and the TV and stuff like that. Because Tommy likes to watch TV when he eats. I don't like watching TV.
That's true.
When I eat, I don't really like. I mean, I like TV. Like
you eat like really fast. Like I'll be preparing my food. You probably heard this in like a previous podcast, but like I take my time to prepare my meal. So like when I do to eat it, I get to like really enjoy it. Where so Paula's more like quick, done, eat real quick, and that's it.
Yeah, I just like, I'm straight to the point. If I'm going to eat, I don't need TV. I don't need phone. I just sit there and eat. And Tommy's so different.
Maybe that's like the whole quality time thing too. It's like I'm spending quality time with my food.
Yeah, you are a quality time person. And in my love languages, quality time is rather low. Like I don't need to.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't appreciate spending time with you. I just don't feel like it fills me up. Like my love tank isn't filled because I get to spend time with him.
And then another thing too, and I think this is something we already recognize, but like quality time, even like in the car, like when we go somewhere like on a long trip, like for me, it feels nice. Like if we do an hour drive somewhere because we have to be somewhere, but like that's when we get to like not be super distracted by everything else around us.
Yeah.
And it's just us two and we just get to talk. That's something I actually really enjoy that I've learned about myself.
So
about us.
So what you learned after 2 years of marriage is that quality time is important to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like what I've learned, but it's kind of like reinforces that.
What
And
you've realized is like quality time is important to you.
so basically the whole stay at home thing, when that was in effect, like I actually didn't really mind that much.
Yeah, you definitely did not.
And then that's how things got kind of reversed. Now like you want to go out and do stuff, and I'm like, let's just stay in.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, this is good. This is really good to process. And
Yeah.
if you guys haven't taken the 5 love language quiz, I mean, we say this all the time, but I really think you guys should. And if you want to tell us your results, you can. And sometimes if it's weird, like for your friends, be like, what's your love language? What I've learned from that Captivate book that we read is like, what is your appreciation language? Like, how do you feel appreciated is another way
Yeah.
to ask the people you work with. Because if you're single and I don't know, you don't want to ask people like, what's your love language to your
Yeah.
friends? That could be weird.
Oh yeah.
I think it's weird sometimes if I'm asking like a guy or something,
What's your love language?
what's your love
bro?
language? Because that could be weird. So what is?
Actually, I've asked some guys that,
Well,
but
it's
it's because
different
I
if
want
it's
to
a
be able to like encourage them in the way they feel loved, or like be able to support them in that way.
I mean, I don't mind asking a girlfriend like what their love language is,
Oh, that's
but
true,
I'm not
yeah.
trying to ask my guy friend like what's your love
Oh
language.
yeah, and that could be opposite for me. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Because we're not trying to send mixed signals here. Like we are married.
Yeah. No, actually, something else that I've learned is just through this last year is that how important it is to support your significant other and whatever they're doing. So like one big thing I took up was like surfing, like getting a little bit more serious about surfing. And I've talked about this in the past, and really just improving my skills. And I have goals set on where I want to be when it comes to surfing. But so Potter like really encourages me and supports me in all of that. And for me to reciprocate that reciprocity,
The word of it's a
word of
win-win.
the day. Reciprocity, just to reciprocate like my support with her, whatever she is doing, and also encourage her in her endeavors, I guess, right? Whatever you are doing, just to give you a lot of support, because we're around each other so much more now. And I feel like sometimes we learn more about each other because we're around each other a lot more.
Yeah, so that's another thing that you learned is to
I think
support me in what I want to do.
to be intentional about the support, right? If like you want to do something, or you're just feeling some way and you just need to like talk it out. So like what I talked about in year one was communication. So that's it kind of goes along with that. It's kind of a byproduct. Like along with communication is like actively listen to what is being told to you, or what you guys are talking about, and then how can you take it a step further, right? If you're like asking for help or need help, or just try to be aware of it to provide, emotional support, whatever it is, just to be intentional about it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's been a huge help for me. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about within this
No,
podcast?
I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah. So for those of you who are watching right now, if you're married or dating, what are some of the things you've learned after the first year of like dating? So if you've been dating for like 3 years, what did you learn in year 3? If you're married, what have you learned in year 5 or year 2? Or maybe this is your first year. I think there's a lot of like people dating right now, even though it's like weird COVID times or whatever.
Are you guys
Are
dating?
people married? Like, how was like stay at home for you like this past year? And what have you guys learned? Make sure to comment down below and share with us.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but a lot of my friends lately have been talking to me about dating apps, all these things. I'm like, I really don't feel I haven't done that in so long. Like
Same.
in a lot, like 2013, Tommy and I started dating, and I'm like, that's a long time ago. And so we didn't need dating apps are just coming
I feel like I'm so old now because like we were like right at that time, right before like dating apps became a thing. Like, how you had eHarmony, that's like an online thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did it kind of like the old school way.
Yeah.
Like we just kind of met through mutual friends. I got her number, and then we just started talking.
Yeah. So it's funny. Our friends are talking to me about dating, and I think it's a safe place for them. One, because I'm married and like we're not going after the same people, right? So I don't know. Maybe that's not valid, but for some reason they're coming to me and just randomly talking about it, and I'm not asking for it. So if you guys want to talk about dating with me, you can. I can kind of share what I don't know, my experience, I guess.
I would highly suggest not to come talk to me because I would corrupt the youth. So I would probably give very bad advice.
I don't know. We'll see. And I always tell people too, I'm like, just so you guys know, we are far from perfect, far from,
Oh yeah,
you know,
we're still trying to figure it out. We're like,
we have nothing figured out.
what's this whole marriage thing about?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's more just a conversation. Again, like our friends are connecting with us through this podcast and just reaching out to us, be like, hey, I think this guy's kind of cute. I think this girl's cute, whatever. And I'm just like, oh, fun. Like I love hearing
So
about that.
what's one dating tip would you give to our viewers who are in the dating stage of their lives?
I mean, or the single people looking to date. I feel like being friends first was a huge thing for me and Tommy. Like we were friends, and then all of a sudden I was like, do I like this dude? Like, what is going on?
Friends first.
And I don't know if that's like the thing that everyone needs to do. Some people's like love at first sight, they start dating, they get married, and they've been married forever. So, because I was basically talking to some friends, I'm like, it's okay that you guys are friends right now. Like,
Yeah.
I
Can I
love
slide
that.
in like one piece
Yeah.
of advice?
Yeah.
I think before even becoming friends, well, actually, no, this is kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, this might be kind of weird because then you become friends for like one reason, and that's to, like, date them. But I think if you're like looking to date, I think that friends first is great, but find someone that's like that you're physically attracted to. I think that's the first step. Like you have to be physically attracted to them, and then become their friend.
That's
And
true.
then, and because when you become their friend, then that's like you get to know their personality. Okay, I'm physically attracted to you, and now it's like, can I like actually hang out with you and like talk about stuff, right? And that's like the friends part, the personality compatibility. So that's the first step I would take it. It might sound shallow, but I think it's true. You got to be attracted to the person you want to date.
I don't think that's shallow. You have to like you have to like the other person.
True. That's true.
It's like
That's
physically.
shallow. I take it back. Sorry,
Yeah.
not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Exactly. So I don't know if you guys were trying to listen to this podcast to get dating advice. We're just keeping it real with you.
Hey, but if you made it this far, man, you got that bonus content.
So shout out to all you guys. If you're dating, married, single, whatever, comment below. Let us know anything that you've learned in this process that you're comfortable sharing. Or if you want to meet us in person, meet up with us in person and you just tell us
Yeah,
your
we're doing
thoughts.
a meet and greet in 2 weeks. Totally
Just kidding. But there are some people who are listening to It's a Win-Win that I had no idea that you guys have been listening or watching, and my friends continue to surprise me. And so thank you guys so much for your support. It is like just so special knowing that there are people who are listening and that are learning and getting connected. And so we thank you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. It means so much. We're at 109 subscribers as we are currently recording, and we've been getting some new ones slowly but surely.
It's been exciting.
So one subscriber does make a difference. Like
It does.
we see that. And don't forget to hit a thumbs up on this video as well to let us know that you guys like this video. If you're watching, or listening on Apple or Spotify, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and rate if you haven't. So we'll see you guys next week on It's a Win-Win Wednesday. Thank you guys for listening.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Bye.